The first snowfall of December had quietly covered the streets of Oslo in a soft white blanket. From a distance, the city looked peaceful, as if every problem had disappeared beneath the snow. Cars moved slowly along the icy roads. People hurried to their workplaces wrapped in thick coats, and the cold morning breeze carried a silence that somehow felt comforting. But there is one thing about silence. Sometimes, it isn't a sign of peace. Sometimes, it is the calm before everything changes. In the heart of the city stood Oslo City Hospital, one of Norway's most respected private hospitals. Every day, hundreds of people walked through its glass doors carrying different emotions. Some arrived with hope, some with fear. Others came carrying secrets they wished would never come to light. And today, 6 lives were about to begin moving toward one another. None of them knew it yet. A black taxi stopped outside the hospital's main entrance. The driver stepped out, opened the trunk, and lifted a small suitcase. "Here you go." The young man smiled politely. "Tack." The driver nodded before driving away. The young man stood still for a moment, taking in the sight before him. His dark overcoat swayed gently in the freezing wind, while tiny snowflakes settled over his shoulders. His name was Shazil Mir. At 29 years old, Shazil had earned a reputation as one of the country's finest cybersecurity consultants. Calm under pressure, sharp-minded, and known for solving problems others couldn't, he had recently been assigned to upgrade the digital security systems of Oslo City Hospital after a series of suspicious cyber incidents. He looked up at the towering glass building. "Looks like I'm going to spend quite a few weeks here." With a quiet smile, he stepped inside. Warm air replaced the freezing cold as the automatic doors slid shut behind him. The hospital lobby was alive. Doctors moved quickly through the corridors. Stretchers rolled past. Phones rang constantly. Announcements echoed softly from the speakers. Everything looked perfectly organized, almost too organized. Behind the reception desk sat a young woman typing rapidly on her keyboard. She looked up. "Good morning." "Good morning," Shazil replied warmly. "I'm Shazil Mir. I have a meeting with Dr. Haroon." She checked her computer. "Ah, yes, Mr. Mir. Welcome to Oslo City Hospital." "Thank you. Dr. Haroon is finishing a meeting. It shouldn't take more than 10 minutes. "No problem. You can have a seat." Shazil thanked her and walked toward the waiting area. As he sat down, his eyes naturally wandered across the busy lobby. Children laughed despite their illnesses. An elderly couple quietly held hands while waiting for test results. A doctor comforted a worried mother. Hospitals had a strange way of reminding people how fragile life really was. Just then, the sound of high heels echoed across the polished floor. Several employees instinctively turned their heads. A sleek, black luxury car had stopped outside the entrance. The driver rushed to open the rear door. A young woman stepped out. She wore an elegant white coat over expensive winter clothing, her confidence making it seem as though the hospital belonged to her. Without saying a word, she walked through the lobby, while several staff members greeted her respectfully. "Good morning, Miss Alezaby." "Morning." "Good morning, miss." She acknowledged them with brief nods. Shazil couldn't help but notice her, not because of her beauty, but because of the strange contrast. Everyone around her seemed slightly nervous, almost careful, as if they had learned not to upset her. Alezaby noticed him looking. She slowed her pace. For a brief second, their eyes met. There was curiosity on both sides. She walked over. "I don't think I've seen you here before." Her voice was calm, confident. Shazil stood politely. "First day." She smiled faintly. "I guessed. I'm Shazil Mir. Alezaby." There was a short silence. "So, doctor?" she asked. Shazil chuckled. "No." "Then? I've been hired to improve the hospital's cybersecurity." She studied him for a moment. "Interesting." Before Shazil could say anything else, someone called her name. "Miss Alezaby, your father is waiting." She looked toward the voice before turning back. "It was nice meeting you, Mr. Mir." "The pleasure was mine." With that, she walked away. Shazil watched her disappear into a private elevator. Quite an entrance, he murmured to himself. He had no idea that this brief meeting would one day become the reason someone would begin to hate him. At that very moment, outside the hospital gates, a bicycle stopped near the employee parking area. Its rider removed her woolen gloves and smiled as she looked up at the snow-covered building. Unlike the luxury cars parked nearby, her bicycle looked old. Its basket carried nothing more than a lunchbox, a small thermos, and a neatly folded scarf. She locked the bicycle before quietly brushing the snow off its seat. One of the security guards noticed her. "Good morning, Miss Rameen." She smiled warmly. "Good morning, Eric. How's your shoulder? Better now?" Rameen looked surprised. "You remembered?" He laughed. "You treated my daughter last month. She helped me remember." Rameen smiled. "And how is little Emma? Running around the house again? That's wonderful. She still says she wants to become a nurse, just like you." A soft laugh escaped Rameen. "I hope she becomes an even better one." The guard shook his head with admiration. "There aren't many people like you anymore." She lowered her eyes modestly. "I'm only doing my job." She picked up her lunchbox and quietly entered the hospital. No expensive clothes, no bodyguards, no attention. Yet somehow, the warmth she carried felt stronger than the winter sun trying to break through the clouds. From the second-floor balcony overlooking the lobby, someone had witnessed both arrivals. Dr. Haroon. His expression softened as he watched Rameen disappear into the corridor. Then, his smile slowly faded as he remembered the argument he had had with Alezaby the previous night. He closed his office blinds without saying a word. Some wounds could not be hidden by closing a curtain. Meanwhile, deep inside another part of the hospital, a medicine cabinet quietly clicked shut. A delicate hand slipped a small bottle into an expensive handbag. The hand trembled, only slightly. No one was nearby. The corridor was empty. The woman looked around once, then swallowed 2 tablets without water. She closed her eyes. For a brief moment, the shaking stopped, but so did the smile on her face, because somewhere deep inside, she knew this wasn't medicine. It was another step toward destroying herself, and she hated herself for needing it.